and welcome to yet another exciting session on DPLYR. We have been learning quite a lot of functions in DPLYR, and I think this is the fourth session where we are meeting to learn something more, something new about DPLYR. So if you haven't watched the previous videos, you can just find those videos in the same playlist, or you can just click the I button on top, and I will also share the previous video links in the description as well, so that if you have missed out on them, you can watch them and get in tune with what has been happening. So the first step is to install the DPLYR package. If you haven't installed it yet, this is line number 1 for you. You can install your package this way: install.packages, in parentheses, double quotes, DPLYR, comma, install all the dependencies along with it. So dependencies equals true. So run it. Those who have already installed this package, you can straight away go to line 2, as I'm doing, because I already have this package installed. So I don't need to install it yet again. This is the data that we have been using, and I'm keeping the same data. You'll find the link for this data in the description, so better use that link and extract the data and start working with me. So just I have the data. Now let me check the head, a small bit of eyeballing so that I get to know my data is working fine. Yep, I have my data. Okay, it has got these variables: index, date, year 2002, and so on. Dimensions. When I check the dimensions of my data, it gives me the number of observations and the number of variables. Okay, now let me see. The number of observations are 51. That is, number of rows in my data set are 51, and number of columns are 16. So columns are vectors or variables. Now moving ahead, today we'll be exploring the filter function. This is one of the most important and powerful function in DPLYR. So we will be exploring the filter function in DPLYR today, and we will be learning all the possible ways in which you can use DPLYR, the filter function in DPLYR, or rather. Okay, so all set, let's go. The first learning objective that I have is the simple use of filter. Okay, see, when I use filter, I try to, apply a filter on certain variable, upon certain characteristics, upon certain parameters, right? So now, for instance, let us say I have an index column in my data, right? So you have this, for example, the names, you have an index column, right? So you have an index column, and it's always preferred, when you are applying a filter, it is good if you apply a filter on a categorical variable. So first step, I'm applying filter. So I'll be using this index column to filter, apply the filter, because that's one categorical variable I have. Fine. Now going ahead, let's see. The first thing, I'm filtering my rows. Okay, that is to say, I need only those rows which fulfill a certain criteria in my index column. Okay, so that is to say, I will be creating subsets of my original data set where my rows would be fulfilling certain criteria in certain columns. Fine. So let's start. Okay, so first let us say I'm filtering only those. Okay, I'm filtering only those rows where the index column. Okay, filter rows where index is A, for instance. Okay, so very simple. This is, I'm creating an object called myData1 equals filter. Okay, so that's the reason I love this DPLYR, because the names of the functions are quite intuitive, quite easy to remember. I need to filter, so filter. Okay, so straight away filter in brackets, in parentheses, my data. This is the original data I have. Now index. Okay, this is the column I'm filtering. So index, I would say double equals. Okay, those who are new to programming, you should understand. Okay, a single equals is for assignment. Okay, and double equals is for mapping. Like, for example, let us say I have to find an exact match. Okay, that is double equals. Okay, so index, I need to find the exact match of A. Fine. So logic is I'm trying to I'm trying to pull out those rows where in the index column it's only A. Fine. So when I run this, okay, now check whether what has happened, my data. Okay, now you see out of all the 51 or 56 odd rows I had, I have only 4. Okay, and this index column, it has only A. Got the logic? Fine. So we are moving to the next learning outcome where we would be selecting, there is a multiple selection criteria. Okay, that is to say, just now I had just, I just pulled out those rows. I just simply pulled out those rows where the index was A. Now, for instance, I need to pull out multiple such rows, like for example, A, the index column must have A or probably C. Okay, so such way, if I have to pull out such kind of rows, okay, then again, very simple. Going by the same logic, I create an object called myData2, then filter. Okay, this is my original data, the parent data file, my data. Then this is the column, okay, on which I am applying the filter, index. Okay, you will apply this. Okay, you will apply this percentage in percentage. Okay, now this is what helps you in multiple selection criteria. Okay, this will pull out all those, okay, which are there in a particular column fulfilling multiple criteria. Okay, so C, the combine option, okay, A and C. Okay, so I'm pulling out A, I'm pulling out C. Okay, this way, like if I have any other things, you can just keep on putting a comma in double quotes, you can keep on extending. Okay, so go ahead and you get this. Okay, just run my data2 and see. How do you run? Highlight it, control and enter together. Okay, now you see, okay, I have A's in index as well as I have C's in index. Fine. Then going to learning outcome 3. Here we are going to apply AND condition. AND. Okay, so when I'm applying that AND condition, the logic is the same. Okay, two conditions need to be fulfilled, only then I can select, or I can subset my data. I can pick those rows only when two conditions are satisfied. Okay, for example, right now my index, okay, my index had A and C. Fine, I could pick A and C, but I need some other condition, like let us say in the year 2002 the income must be greater than a certain number. Okay, only those rows, I need to see only those rows. Okay, so let us see. Okay, so I'm creating my data 3. The logic is the same. I have named a new object, filter. This is my parent data, my data. Then I go for index. This is the column on which I'm applying the filter. Then again this in, okay, percentage in percentage, where you apply the multiple selection criteria. This part is the same, C, A and C columns. Now I want AND. Okay, here comes the AND condition. Okay, now in this AND condition, it will help me apply another condition. So in the column 2002, year 2002, I want the income to be greater than equal to, okay, this is how much, 1300,000. Okay, so the income in year 2002 should be greater than 1300,000. So just imagine how small from the entire data, from 51 or 56 odd rows, I'm just looking for those rows in which the index is it's A and C both, plus in the year 2002 the income must be greater than equal to 1300,000. Simple. Now let's run this and see. Now I get this my data 3. Run this. Okay, now just see. Okay, in the index I have this A and C. Fine. Okay, that's fine. Now just see, in year 2002 the income is greater than equal to 1300,000. Okay, none of the column has the income less than 1300,000. But if we go back in the previous problem what we had done with only one condition A and C. So you can see in first and second rows the income was less than 1300,000. Okay, so those two rows have been eliminated now. Getting the point? So both the conditions are applied. Now just see, we are going to OR condition, learning outcome 4, applying the OR condition. Okay, so I want all the rows which satisfy either of the condition. Okay, I don't want both the conditions to be satisfied. Even if any one condition is satisfied, I want those rows. Great. Okay, now everything is same. I'm applying the filter. Okay, I created an object called my data 4. Apply your filter. Okay, this is my parent data file, my data. Same logic, index. Okay, and this symbol. Okay, and then go to C, your columns, or the index A, within the index A and C should be there. Now you will apply this sign, which is OR. Okay, this just exists above your shift button on the keyboard. Okay, not shift, sorry, enter, the return key on your keyboard. Okay, just above that. So you can use shift and that button just above your enter or return key of your keyboard. Fine. So this is for OR. Okay, so either satisfy this condition or this condition. Okay, so logically I should get more number of rows than I got in learning outcome 3, because here both the conditions had to be satisfied. Here any one condition needs to be satisfied. Okay, now just try it out and see. Okay, let us see what has happened in my data 4. Wow, you can see this. Okay, I got almost 44 rows, right? So you can see even N, T and all are selected. Only reason being the income in 2002 was greater than 1300,000, right? So that's the reason why I'm not restricted only to A or C. Either this condition gets satisfied or this condition gets satisfied. See, I have A or C where the income is less than 1300,000 but got picked because this condition got satisfied. Okay. In other way, I have H or I where it's not satisfying the first condition but the second condition is getting satisfied. Fine. So very beautiful way of using it. Okay. Next, the NOT condition. Okay. Again, very simple, like except if you just want to ignore a few rows. Apart from those few rows, you need to select all the remaining rows. Then what do you do? Okay, apply the NOT condition. So I'm creating a new object called my data 5. Okay, for the 5th learning outcome. Logic is still the same. Filter, my data, comma. Then you have this exclamation mark. This is for NOT, a negation thing. Okay, so NOT, don't pick. Okay, NOT index, the in percentage, C and these two columns. Okay, these two, A and C. Okay, so these two factors A and C need to be eliminated and produce all the remaining rows. Fine. So just run it and see what happens. Now I have my data 5. Run it. Now you see. Okay, you get the entire data, but you don't get your A and C. Okay, this is the beauty. Now see, it starts with D. A and C are gone. So I hope you have understood the 5 beautiful functions or 5 beautiful usages of the filter function in DPLYR. If you did like this video, show your appreciation by liking and sharing. Do write your comments. Spread a good word about this channel. Thank you for watching.